Welcome back to the session team. Let's start the session for today. Meanwhile, others can join parallelly. So in the yesterday and day before yesterday, we are having the demos on Oracle Fusion HCM Cloud. And as part of that, we have seen introduction to the Fusion application and the Fusion applications evaluation overview and the cloud deployment options, right? And also, what are all the modules that we are having in this particular application? Or like what comes under the functional side, what comes under the technical side, right? What are all the total components that we are having in this particular technology we have seen team. And then we have seen what are the offerings that you are going to get as part of our course curriculum we have seen. And in yesterday's session, we were talking about the Oracle certification process, how the certification in Fusion HCM Cloud will be there. And also, I introduced to you the environment, how it will be delivered to the customers. Like when they buy this product from Oracle, how the application will be delivered to the customers, how many types of environments will be delivered when they buy the license from Oracle, like how the difference between production, test and dev environment, how you can notice the difference, which is production, which is test environment, or which is dev environment. I have explained you yesterday. And typically how many names that we will call this environment as, that also we have seen team, right? The cloud environment typically in how many ways we will call, that also we have seen. And today we are going to start with our very first concept. In fact, I also introduced it to you yesterday, the application also team, how to log in into the application with user ID and password, and the basic information about the application, the home screen features, what we have, bell icon, what we have, home button, favorites button, what is called as springboard or navigator, that all we have seen in our yesterday session team. So today I'm going to start with the topic that is security administration team. Okay. In whatever the implementation that you are working in the real time, let's suppose you got into a company and your company got some project related to HCM. So you've been mapped to that project. So in our case, what we are discussing team with an example of Tata Group, right? Okay. Can everyone please be on the mute team so that but Raghav, can you please be on the mute? There is some echo coming from your audio. Okay, thank you. So in our case, what we are seeing team, let's suppose Tata is the customer or the client who is going to buy the product from Oracle. And Tata given the product to, my voice is not audible.
It's audible.
Audible, right? I think Abdul Rashid, you have to switch on your mic. Please switch on the mic once. Right, team. So let's suppose Tata Group purchasing the license from Oracle in order to use these HCM cloud applications in their in-house HR operations team. Now Tata given the project to Deloitte. Let's suppose we are working in these consulting companies, right? So we as a implementation consultants working in the Deloitte, we got the project from Tata Group. Okay. 1 second, team. I think. Right. Sorry. Okay. So now, once we get into the project team, the very first fundamental concept that which we have to learn will be security administration in the application team. So let me go to new slide so that we can start that concept. So whenever I talk about security administration, what is this topic that we have in Fusion application team? Whenever we're talking about security administration, we have to see that security administration from two perspectives. Basically, in the concept of security in Fusion application, we are going to talk about two concepts. One is user account management, okay, and other is role management in the system. What is the other thing? Role management in the system. So these two concepts we are going to see in the concept of security in the application team. So when we going for a project, see team now, I I'm trying to logging into the application team. It is asking me to provide the user ID and password. So my username is HCM_IMPL12 and I have my password inputted here. And once I click on sign in, I could able to log in into the application with my user account, with my user credentials. But how this user account creation will be done in the system? Now I am having user account called HCM_IMPL12. I provided my details and I logged in into the system. Then I landed up on the screen. But how the user account will be created in the system? That we are going to talk in security administration. As far as the concept of security is concerned, user account management and role management will come into the picture. So let's say team, my current user account is HCM_IMPL12. This is my username with which I logged in team. Next, one more concept what we have in security is role management. The role management talks about the access that which we are going to provide in the Fusion system. Means team, now I logged in with my user ID HCM_IMPL12. When I log in into the system, I could able to see several sections coming up. I could able to see something called sales, then service, me, okay, then my team, then procurement, my client groups, help desk. Like that team, I could able to see several sections. I mean, several functional areas I could able to see. How this access is coming to me when even if I go to navigator, I could able to see all the functional areas access here. How my user is getting access to all these functionalities in the system in Fusion application, the entire security concept will be working on a one single concept called RBAC. We have a concept called RBAC. What is meant by RBAC team? The full form of RBAC is roles based access control. Roles based access control. So if anyone asks you how the concept of security is working in the Fusion application team, tell them that in Fusion application, the entire security working on a concept called RBAC, roles based access control. To my user account, I will be assigning certain roles. So every user account when we creating in the system for the employees, the respective roles you are going to assign team. Now, when I log in with my user ID, I could able to see several functionalities on the screen. Nothing but my user account when it got created in the system, the respective roles assigned to my user account. That's why the roles related access I could able to see in the system. So we have the concept in Fusion application called RBAC. So I will come to this point later after 15 minutes team. First, I will talk about user account management. First, we will see how the user accounts will be created in the Fusion application team. Now, we are the implementation team from Deloitte, went to the Tata Group for implementing the application according to their requirement. We are the team of 10 members team. Let's suppose we are 10 implementation consultants. Some are functional, some are technical. Altogether, we are on the project. Now, how the user accounts will be created for us in the system? Because if I have to start configuring the things in the system to implement the system to the client, we should have access to the system. So we should be required with our user accounts created. All of our 10 people or 10 team members will require the user accounts. How to create them? Not only for us team. In the system, it is a HR tool, correct? Our product is HR product. In my client's organization, every day several recruitments will be happening, several hirings will be happening. Team employee will be hiring every day in the organization. So when the employee is hired in the organization, for all that employees also we have to give access to the system, right? They should have access to this portal in order to apply his leaves or check his pay slips or do the personal evaluations, whatever it might be. Team, every employee in the client's organization, depending upon their assignment for what he is working, depending upon the job that what he is performing in the organization, every employee also should get created with the user access to the system. So every employee should get, even in your companies where you are working also. Team, for your company portal, you will be having access, right? Your user ID and password will be available where you can log in into your company portal, and anything that you want to apply the leave or you want to check your employment information, any details about yourself, pay slips you want to check, year-end documents you want to check, you should get access to the system of your company. Similarly, coming to the Fusion application also, team, we should know first of all how the user accounts will be created in the system. That is the preliminary topic or the understanding one should have before starting any module implementation. Team, okay, now I will tell you how the user accounts will be created in the system. We have two options in order to get the user accounts created. Team, one is manual way. One is manual option of creating the user account, and the other one is team automatic option. Other one is automatic option. First I will talk about this automatic option. Team, then I will come to manual. What is automatic? In the automatic, system will automatically creates the user accounts. How it's so? See team, usually whenever hiring happening in the system, so in core HR module, the employee management will be handled actually. So whenever we hiring the employee in the system, so HR will go to my client group and then they will come to new person. Here we basically the hiring will happen. Team, and then hire an employee, okay, and then they will provide all the respective details. Team, like we have couple of tabs coming up here: identification, person info, employment. One by one all the details they will capture and they will click on submit. Employee record will get created in the system. Team, so whenever hiring happening in the system, automatically the application itself will create the user accounts for the employee. In automatic. Team, whenever hiring of an employee takes place in the system, whenever you creating the employee record in the system, automatically system will create the user account. While we creating the hiring the employee. Team, we will provide all the basic information of the employee, like what is the hire date, in which company we are hiring the employee, his name, first name, last name, middle name. Then in the second tab, we will capture the employee email, phone, everything. So depending upon that basic information what we are providing. Team, once the hiring completed, system automatically creates the user account in the system for the employee. So HRs, when they're hiring the employees in the system, they no need to manually create the user accounts. We can have such provision in the system. Automatically the system itself can generate. But team, we have certain predefined or prerequisite setup for this one. Means, if at all, if you want, the system should automatically creating the user account for the newly hiring employees, there is a prerequisite setup, automatic option we have to enable in the system. Team, that I will show you once we come to the task of enterprise HCM information. So we have a concept in the application called team enterprise, that is part of our organization structure team. At the enterprise level, when we configuring the enterprise in the system, that automatic user creation option we have to enable. If that functionality enabled in the system, then when you hiring the employee team, system automatically will create the user account. Other way around is team manual option. Now we are going to focus on this one, how to create the user account in the system as an HR administrator for the employees team. Let's suppose team, while hiring an employee, you have not given all the details properly. Basically, we can set up the username generation rules also team. Like employee username should be first name dot last name, or employee email ID, or employee number, worker number or person number concept we have team, which will call it as employee ID. We can keep that rules, which we are going to see now. Whenever we hiring an employee team, due to some data discrepancy, if at all system did not generated the user account automatically, then what will be the case? Actually team, let's suppose in the system, we set up a rule that every employee email ID will be the user account ID for the employees. But when we hiring the employee team, in the second tab, we are going to capture the employee work email address. Here we have not provided the email and we have hired the employee. Then what system will take to create the user account for the employee team? You have set up in the system, every employee email ID is the user account ID. But when you hiring the new employee, you have not captured the email ID. You have completed the hiring without that information. Then what system will take team consider for creating the user account? User account will not created for the employee at that point of time, right? So any such data discrepancy happens in the system, if user accounts not created by system automatically, then we have manual option to define team. And one more thing, here I'm talking about employees team, but typically when we are working in the client's project team, we are not the employees in the client's organization. So our records will not be hidden in the system. We will not have employee records created in the client's application team. We are just the implementation team who are going to configure the client system. Then if we are not hired in the system, how our user accounts will be created team? For that also, we have the manual option team. If you want to create the user accounts for the employees manually, or if you want to create only just user accounts, no employee record is tagged to that, just user account in order to access to the system, we have the manual option to go with the team. Now I will start with this topic, how the user accounts can be created manually. I will tell you team. Now, once you go to the application, let me click on home. Okay, click on home. Once you be on the home screen, you go to a functional area called tools. If you could expand towards the right, clicking on the right side arrow here, the bar is moving up, and here I could see a functional area called tools, right? Once I go to the tools, okay, so what is that questions anyone having? The screen got stuck. I think everyone facing the issue or only couple of people?
No, issue is not with the screen. I just wanted to, can you please explain once again the automatic option, automatic creation of the.
Okay. See, automatic option is nothing but whenever an employee record being hired in the system. So basically we will go to this my client groups, and then we will go to the new person, and the employee hiring will be happen. The end users, when they're hiring the employee, they will perform the hiring transaction from here. So whenever we hiring the employee record in the system, when the employee records get created, automatically system will create the user account for the employee. But for that to be done, we have certain prerequisite setup which we have to do. Means the automatic functionality we have to enable in the system. That will be enabled in this respective task. Okay. So that whenever hiring happening, system will automatically create. But when hiring happening, due to some data discrepancy, if the user accounts are not created to the employee, then HR can manually go to the system and they can create the user accounts for the employee. Okay. Clear, Alok?
Yeah, sir. So what is that option which we need to place in manage enterprise?
We will see that. We are yet to come to this one. First, let me complete manual way so that I will jump into automatic. Okay.
Kumar, one more. How we will get to know that user ID is not created due to manual? Will we get any notification that user got created after submitting?
Actually, employee will get the notification. If employee not receiving the notification, nothing but is not getting created with user account. When hiring happened, employee will receive that. Okay.
No.
Right. So now, in order to create a user account in the system as a HR admin manually to the employees, go to the functional area called tools. Okay. Here we have something called tools. Under this functional area, we have one sub-functional area called security console. So the entire security management in the Fusion application will be handled in a one single task called security console. So go to security console here, and then you will land upon this particular screen. So you can see on the left hand side roles. Currently the screen is about that roles, and then users, then analytics, certificates, categories like that thing. Now you go to these users. I will come to roles in next 15 minutes team. You come to users. You landed upon user accounts team. Now here, as an administrator in the system, if you want to check any existing employee user accounts, you can come to user account and you can search here. Let's say I want to search with one employee, that is Curtis. See the user details came. Like this, as a HR admin, if you want to check any existing user accounts of the employee, you can check here. If you want to create a new user account for the employee in the system, then come here, click on add user account. Okay, click on add user account. And here team, when you creating the user account, we have something called associated person information. What is this one team? What is, one second, I think people are having issues with the screen. They are continuously pinging me. Okay. So when we creating the user account, we have something called associated person information, and we have something called associated person type. What is this team? We have two options available. One is none and the other one is worker. Now here team, if you are creating just a user account in the system, means you don't want to assign this user account to any employee in the system, only just a user accounts. Typically for our team, for our implementation consultants, when we are working for the client's project, we are not employees in the client's application or the organization team, but still we require user access in order to do all the configurations. Such kind of accounts we can create by keeping associated person type as none. Just user accounts if you want to create. No worker record or person record available in the system. Then keep the person type as none. But let's say team, as a HR admin, you are creating the user account for the employee who you already hired in the system. But automatically the user account did not generate it because of some hiring level data discrepancy issues or whatever it is. User account not created to the employee automatically. As a HR admin, I want to create the user account. If that is the case, for an existing employee record, already employee hired in the system, employee record created in the system, now I want to create the user account. In that case team, associated person type, you keep it as worker. When you keep worker, one more field will come here. See, I'm selecting worker, then worker name field came. Here, system will give me a provision to search the existing employees in the system. So click on search. So I can search. Let's say I'm searching with the person name called John. So currently in the system, whoever the people with the name John, only employee records are there, but user accounts not created. They are coming up team. So I can search for my employee like this, select the person, click on OK. See here right hand side, all the details are captured team. From where all these details came? First name, last name, email. From this employee level, the data got synchronized team. So if a HR want to create a user account for the existing employee in the system, keep it as worker, then search that worker and start creating the user account team. But if you are creating the user account for the implementation consultants for our team, typically, who are not the employees in the client organization, just user accounts we require. In that case, team, don't keep it as worker, keep it as none. Remove all these things because they got synchronized, or else just go back and come in once. Just keep none and you start giving the details, whatever you want, team. Account information, make sure to keep it as active. If you create the account with locked flag, it is of no use. When you are trying with the user credentials to log in, it will come as authentication failed. So the account should not get locked. Usually when our accounts will get locked, team, whenever I give the instance to you for practicing, team, you will be coming back to me. Kumar, it is showing as authentication failed. It means accounts will get locked. When it will happen, you know, if you continuously give wrong password for more than 3 times for a user account, then automatically system will lock the account. So HR should unlock that again so that they can have access to the system. That I will tell once I create the user account, how to unlock the account, all these things. But when you creating team, account information, keep it as active. And then here you provide the details, team. User information. We have something called user category, team. And by default, we have only one option called default. This is one of the most important concept everyone should know when we creating the security or user accounts team. But let us keep it now aside and I will complete it. Then I will come back to the user category. What is it? I will tell you. By default, when you start working in your client's application also team, in the user category, you will have this option of default. That's okay. Now, first name I'm giving Trio and last name I'm giving it as Tech. TrioTech. Then email of the employee, if you want, I mean the user, if you want, you can provide. So I'm giving TrioTech@ something like gmail.com or whatever it is I'm giving team. And then the moment I given first name and last name, automatically the username taken as with the combination of first name dot last name. Who told that? Who decided that in the system automatically first name dot last name to be considered as username, team? Why it is coming like that automatically? I want email ID. I want employee's email ID to be the user ID. Or let's say we have something called employee IDs. When we hire an employee team, person numbers will be generated, which we will call it as employee number or employee ID. I want that employee ID should be the username. But why? Why? The moment I given first name, last name, automatically the username coming as trio.tech, first name dot last name. This will be decided in this user category level team. Whatever the user category level we have, this default. Here we have one functionality, see user category. We can configure certain rules in this user category level team. What is the username generation rule? Do you want first name dot last name? Do you want email ID or employee person number or first letter of first name and last name? We have multiple combinations to choose. Currently in this instance, what we are using at the user category level, the username generation rule set up as first name dot last name. That's why when I'm creating a user account in this category team, the moment I pass first name and last name, automatically system taken up that combination. How to customize these rules, we will come once we create the user account team. I will come here and I will explain you that all. Okay, right. Username I am giving here, then password I am giving team, something like tested.8.123 or something, and I am confirming the password team. See, I have given the basic user information, what are all required in order to create the user account in the system. This is not required team. This is an additional concept for the part of SSO enablement. We are not going to see that one. And here team, whenever you creating the user account in the system, account creation is not sufficient team. After that, what we have to do? We have something called roles. Roles. See how what access that you want to provide to this employee TrioTech or to this user TrioTech when he log into the system. That will be decided from the roles that we are going to assign to this user team. So now we have to talk about the concept of role management. So whenever the user account getting created in the system, for that user account, we are going to assign the roles to which he should access in the application team. By default, for every module in the system, let's take up these things team. Let's take up these things team. Our components in the system. I'm keeping them here. Okay. By default, for every module in the system or every functionality in the system, Oracle given certain standard roles delivered team. If you take core HR module, if one should have access to all the configurational tasks or transaction in the core HR module, we have the list of roles available like this. I will list out some of the roles that Oracle delivered team. For core HR, we have the roles like human resource manager or human resource specialist. So these two roles are sufficient for core HR, absence, and also for talent goals and performance. For these three modules, we have these roles available. For payroll module, if you want to access to payroll module screens in the system, then you have the roles like payroll manager and payroll administrator, like that. And for compensation, we have the roles like compensation manager and compensation administrator. These are the roles we have for compensation management team. Like that, if you go to benefits, you have benefits manager, okay, then benefits administrator, etc. Then if you go to OLC, we have something like learning specialist role, etc. Then ORC, if you go, you have something called a recruiter, a recruiting specialist, or recruiter, or recruiting manager, etc. Like that, we have roles. For every module in the system or for every component in the system, let's take up security, which we are talking team. Okay, when I came to the application, I told you we should come to tools and security console. But that security console access, if I'm getting, means I should also be assigned with a role called IT security manager role. In order to get access to the security area in the system, we have a role called IT security manager team. Means my HCM underscore IMPL 12, when I log into the system, under tools, I'm able to see security console, means my user assigned with this role. So in order to get access to security console, this role is required. For every area in the application, if you want to access to that particular screens of that area, our user account should be assigned with that respective roles in the system team. So by default in the application, Oracle standardly delivers certain seeded roles for each of the modules and the functionalities in the system team. Okay, So when the user account being created, we have to assign that respective roles in the system for that user account team. That is why the concept I told, the security in Fusion application is working on a concept called roles based access control. Within the concept of roles team, we have different types of roles. I will just list out them, but I won't talk about this because this role management we are going to see again once we complete our functional modules team. Security, now I'm going to cover at the high level. From the point of user account creation, I'm going to cover. Within the concept of roles, we have to talk more deep dively team. In real time, we have a client's requirement depending upon the security restrictions in the screen. So at that point of time, we are going to see that one. In roles, again, we have something like a job roles. Okay, we have something like job roles, then data roles, then we have something like abstract roles, and then we have something like aggregate privileges or duty roles. We have different types team, but what is what, that all we can see once we reach out to the topic of roles at later point of time. But here, as a preliminary understanding, one should know in the Fusion system, the security concept is working on this roles based access control. So here I listed out certain roles, right team? So you can search here them. When you creating the user account, what role you want to assign? Click on add role, and then here you have a search option C team. Here I am searching with a basic role called employee. So whenever you search for any role in the system, if you are seeing duplicates, don't go with the other options. Whatever the role that you are seeing with code, this is the role name and this is the role code. Starting with ORA, that is nothing but Oracle delivered standard role in the system. Whatever you are seeing this abstract per employee abstract, that is custom role. Within the concept of roles team, we have the concept of defining the custom roles as per the business requirement team. So someone created like that. But when you are initially practicing, try to assign the standard Oracle delivered role team. So employee role I have added. Click on add role membership, the role added to the employee. Similarly, what else you want? I want to give access to core HR, absence and talent team. Then search with these roles also here. Human resource manager. See, the role called human resource manager came. I'm selecting that one and then selecting to add role membership. And then human resource specialist also I want. Then I can search that role. Then I can add. So whatever the list of roles that we are having for different functional areas, I will share you the document team. You can find that what are the roles available for HCM in total across the modules. So here, while you creating the user account, whatever is your required roles, you can assign team. You added the role, you don't want to that employee, then select it and you have the option of deleting. See, you can even delete from here if you don't want. Let's say bulk, if you want to delete all the roles, simply click on remove all roles. All roles will get deleted, see? And if you want to add back again, you can add. Now what I will do is team, I will just add one basic role. We have an employee role in the system, which is a very basic fundamental role team, which it will give access to employee self-service. As a user, he can check his personal details in the system. Only that access it will give. Only one role I'm assigning to the user. And let's check it out. What access this person is getting in the system now. So in the add user account, I have provided the username details, first name, password, and then I have added the role also team. Let's say I will click on save and close.
Sir, one
Let's say I will
question.
click on save and close. Yes, please.
Sir, what is that enable administration access for sign-in option is there in the
See,
advanced
in the
information?
concept, we have a one component called single sign-on. If client is using multiple applications along with Oracle Fusion, they are also using Microsoft tools or other Azure or whatever the other tools that they are using in their business. they want a common user ID and password for all the accounts. They want to have a single sign-on concept. From the Fusion application side, certain enablements are there, which we have to do. At that point of time, when you're creating the user account, we have to enable that functionality so that this user account can be used in other tools with the same details, basically. But that single sign-on, we are not going to cover. That comes under a separate security administrating area. That is not part of our regular HCM. Okay.
And
So now,
sir, how in this category, sir, how the setup is like with the first name, last name combination or the email combination, and how I can change that combination?
that we are going to see, Alok. In user category level, we can change that one. First, I am
Okay,
using
sir.
whatever the existing one is there. Okay. Once we
Okay,
create
sir,
the
thank
user
you.
account, I will come. Okay. Now see
Okay,
team.
sir, thank you.
Now see team, user account we created. Now as a HR admin, I want to check the existing user account in the system. I can search here, see with Trio and see our user account came. Now what I will do team, I will try to sign out from my login currently what I am using. That is my HCM_IMPL12. Okay, this is my login, right? And see team, with my login, how many functional areas I'm having access. Now observe the screen carefully. And if I go to the settings also, I could able to see administration, all these access I am getting. Navigator, if I go, all the functional areas I could able to see. Now what I will do is, I will try to sign out from my login and I will try to sign in with new user that which we created in the system. What is that team? Trio.tech. Let me click on sign in. Now see, we are going to land upon with this new user details team. We are going to log in with the new user details, that is TrioTech.
But Kumar, the password also, I mean, it's predefined or?
No, that is in my browser, that password got already saved, because for every batch I will use the same test@123. That's what.
No, when we create a user, default password will automatically come, is it?
No, it won't come. I have password, no? The password and confirm password. When I'm creating a user, I have given the password to the user account, whatever the password I want to give. Did you find that or any doubt in that, Manjuna?
No, I mean, actually we created a TrioTech as we assigned an employee access to TrioTech earlier, right? When we creating that user, there was a password option, right?
Correct.
Two password options. So there we should give a password or it will pick default password automatically.
It won't pick anything. We have to give. In fact, I have given the password as tested@123.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understood.
Now see team, when I try to log in with this user account, what access I'm getting here? I'm getting only me. Okay. And then procurement, tools and others. And under tools also, if you go, do I have security console access? No. If I come to the settings and action, am I getting all options which I actually got with my previous login, that is HCM_IMPL? No. If I go to navigator, what access I'm getting? Only minimal access I'm getting. Why only this access I'm getting, team? Because to this user account, I added only one basic role called employee. So whatever the screen access that employee role will give, only that access is being coming to the employee team. Now I will try to add some more roles. Let me sign out with TrioTech and let us sign in back with our HCM_IMPL12, our login which we are using team. Now I am logging in back as a HR administrator. Now what I will do, again, as a HR, I am going to tools and then I'm going to security console. Any updates that you want to perform to the employee user account as an HR admin team, you have to follow the same thing. Security console, users, then search the employee. Okay, then edit this employee team, click on that display name, you will be on the user account details and then click on edit. So everything will become editable. If you want to update any username, first name, last name, email, anything that you want to do, you can perform as a HR here team. Now, along with this employee role, I will add some more roles to the user. What roles, team? Let's say we will add human resource manager. Okay. And then human resource specialist. Okay. Then what else we will add, team? We'll also add payroll related roles also, because I want to give access to payroll module also. Payroll admin. Okay. And then payroll manager. Okay. And anything else you want to provide, I will also assign the role called IT security manager. I told you, right, team? In order to get access to security console, we should be assigning with a role called IT security manager. I'm also adding that role to the user team. Right. Now see, these many roles I have assigned to my user. Now let me click on save and close. I have updated roles to my employee or my user team. TrioTech now having these all roles. Now I will do one thing. I will try to sign out from my login, and then I will try to log in with TrioTech, and let's check it out whether any access got improvised to this user or not in the system. Go to the user details and give the information there. It's still nothing much you are seeing here, right? Sometimes it will take a slight bit of time to get the changes reflected, team, when the roles you assign. So I will try to wait for some time and sign in again. Still it is not reflected. See, in real time for one or two people, if you are manually doing, it won't be an issue, team. It will be coming up quickly. But as it is a demo instance, the performance of the applications also will be lagging in regularly when we are working on these demo instances. So it will expect some time to get the changes reflected, team.
Kumar, when you give like a
Sir, can you
Hello?
try? Yeah, can you try using the that incognito mode? Yeah,
Trying, sir, the same thing. That is quite common. It will take slight time to get the changes. Let me try with incognito window and then let's check it out.
Also, can we use two different users in two different browsers, Kumar?
You can use it. You can use it. Now,
Kumar,
see, team, guys, can we park your questions at the end of the session so that it won't get interrupted in between? Anything urgent, if okay, you can tell me, because I think the flow is being disturbed in between. Okay. So right, team, now see, when I log in with my TrioTech, I could able to see my access got improvised. Earlier, I didn't have the my client group access. Then I don't have the benefits access, but now I am able to get my client group benefits. And even in my client groups, I can able to see payroll. And if I go to tools, I can even see now security console. This is how the concept of roles is working in the system. Earlier, when I created a user account, only basic employee role I have given. At that point of time, I have limited access to the functionalities in the system. But when I have added more roles, that role specific functionalities I could able to see coming up in the employee screens. My client groups. This comes basically if employee assigned with these roles, human resource manager and specialist. Then benefits, as I added benefits admin role, that is also coming. Then I added IT security manager role, so that under tools security console is coming. So this is how you can assign the roles to the employee whenever we creating the user accounts in order to provide access to the employee team. Now what I will do, I will log in back with my admin super user login team. Let me go to HCM_IMPL12. Now you might get a question. Then how come, Kumar, your user is getting many functionalities? Let's check it out. To my login, to my user what roles are assigned in the system. Let me go to tools, security console, and then I will go to users. Then I will search with my current login, HCM_IMPL12. This is what our user writing. If I edit my user, I can see how many roles assigned to me. See in the role section. As I'm a super user in the system, which I will use it for the regular training purpose, I have assigned many roles to my user team. That's why I could able to see different screens across the different modules team. Now, I created the user in the system. As a HR admin, if I want to do any kinds of updations, what kind of updations you will do? If you come to actions here, you can have a couple of options, TT. By default, account will be active and locked will be none. If you want to forcibly lock the account, you can come here and you can lock the account team. When, let's suppose the employee for 1 week got suspended due to some issue, organization decided that for 1 week he should be suspended. So for 1 month, I don't want 1 week or 1 month. I don't want to give access to the system also for that employee. I want to keep it on hold, his user details also. Then you can come to user account, then go to action, click on lock account. This symbol, the option will come to S. When you lock the account, when the user tries with his credentials to log in, system will not allow him to log in. It will come as authentication failed. This is manually HR if they want to lock the employee account. Automatically, when the account will get locked means if employee tries more than 3 times the wrong password, the account will get locked. So as a HR, you can come, go to the account. Now it is lock account coming because it is active now. When it is locked, it will come as unlock. We can go and we can unlock the account team from here. And then as a HR admin, if you want to reset the password of the employee, then you can come to reset password, and we have couple of options team. Automatically generate the password and manually change the password. If I keep automatic and if I click on reset password button team, a password reset link will trigger to the employee email. Their employee can choose that link, click on that link, and they can reset team. Manually, if I choose as a HR, I can update the new password here. See, new password and confirm password. I will give the new details and I will click on reset password, and manually I will share the password to the employee. If you want to do any password resetting as a HR admin to the account, you can perform from here team. And permanently, if I want to delete the account from the system, then I have the delete option team. If the account deleted, if employee trying to log in with this user ID and password, again it will show as authentication failed because user account itself not there in the system. So you can delete the account from here team. And as an admin, you can even compare two users in the system. I want to compare this employee with another employee, like what role access this person is having and what access the second person is having. You can go to compare user team. First user is TrioTech, and second user you can search team. Let's say I want to search with a user called Curtis. In this system already we have one more user account, Curtis. I'm searching with that one. Click on OK and click on compare team. The results will get reflected here. I mean, to which screens in the system, which employee having access and which employee not having access. See, we can see the screens here, person management screen, analysis duty, absence implementation. So if it is in red color, for these areas, this person TrioTech is not having access, but Curtis is having access to them. For some of the options, TrioTech is having access, Curtis Fiat is not having access. Depending upon the roles that are tagged to both the users, the access level information to which screens in the system, the access for each of them is there. You can even compare as a HR admin here team. If you want to export to Excel, all this information you can even export to Excel and you can cross compare team. So this is the new feature came in the system. Earlier it was not available. Since last 1.5 years, we are seeing this new functionality came in the system as part of the quarterly upgrade. In one of the quarterly upgrade, Oracle came up with this new functionality team. And even this one also, copy user. Way back when we were working 4 years back or 5 years back, we didn't have these two concepts available here. Only these three used to be there. These two are additionally added concepts in the application team. What is copy user? See, I have one account called TrioTech in the system for one of the employees. For TrioTech, I have a couple of roles assigned team. I want to create one more account for another employee, let's say. Same roles I want to assign to him. So rather than creating the account, manually clicking on add button, searching role by role, simply come to the account whom you want to make it as a proxy, come to that account, simply click on copy user. The roles from TrioTech will be copied. See, whatever the roles that currently TrioTech account is having, they are copied, and you landed upon add user account. You can pass the details and you can click on save and close. So the roles of the previous account will get copied here, team. So this is one shortcut where HRs can make use of to create user accounts in the system, copy user. And if I click on this display name, team, I will get into the user account details of the user, TrioTech. So reset password you have here also, team. Either you can pick from the actions button there, or you can come to the screen, and even from here also you can reset the password of the user. Or if you edit it, if you want to correct the username, first name, last name of the employee, email, or if you want to make the account locked here, you can checkbox this one. Whatever you want to add some more roles to the user, you want to remove all roles or one by one role, you can do whatever you want, team. Here we can see one more concept called, team, auto provisioning of roles. What is that, team? We have one good feature in the system where in every implementation we are going to implement this for the client. What is that, team? See, whenever we're talking about automatic option of user account creation, team, system itself creating the user account, right? User account, if it creates sufficient, roles also should be tagged automatically to the employee, right? If user accounts create automatic, what is the use? HR again go to security console, go to the user search, then search the user account, then edit it, and they will add whatever the roles they want to give to the employee. No, the roles also should be automatically tagged to the employee when the user account created. For that, we have a concept called, team, auto provisioning of roles. In the system, whenever we configuring the roles, we have the scope to define the custom roles also, team. Each role we can write certain conditions for which people these roles are eligible or auto assigned. When hiring happening, if the employee satisfying that conditions, automatically the roles will be assigned to the accounts team. That concept we will be seeing in the role management class. When we're talking in detail about security roles, I will explain you that role provisioning team. So this is for our future discussion. You can keep it so far. So this is how user accounts can be created in the system. Now coming back to the question that Alok is having, where we will decide the username account should be first name dot last name or email ID, where we will decide. See, team, I'm trying to create one more user account. And now I will show you one practical example in the system. What is that? I'm creating the user account, team. Again, I'm giving the user account first name as Trio and second name as Tech. Now you see, team, username. The moment I click on the next tab, username, what it will take, you see, what it is taking, see, trio.a.tech. Why is that so? Because already in the system with the combination trio.tech account was there already, team. Now the second account also you are creating with the same naming convention of first name Trio and last name Tech. Then it will in system will take care of that one, team. Even this provisioning also, whenever duplicates are coming in the system, what system should take care? System should generate its own combination of username, or it should throw up an error, even that functionality. And also what is the username pattern that system should follow? when the user account is being created, or not even that one team. I will list out some things. What are all the things? One is user name generation format or generation rule, and the other one is duplication cases. Because team, if I go with first name dot last name combination, if you see employee names will be quite common. There will be Ramesh Kumar. We can see 10 Ramesh Kumars in the organizations. Ramesh dot Kumar, if you allocate to first employee, what about the remaining 9 people? If you are going with the user accounts with the name combination, first name dot last name, what you will allocate? Every employee I cannot give Ramesh dot Kumar, right? That will be the duplication. So if that is the case, what system should take care? Duplication cases. Not even that one thing. When we creating the user, I'm giving password here. I'm giving password and then I'm confirming the password. What is the complexity of the password? Only simple characters, complex, very complex, like at least 4 uppercase, 3 lowercase, 1 special character, something. The password complexity setup. Even that one also we can set up team. Password complexity setup. And then team, whenever we create a user account, let's say we created one user called TrioTech. Now see team, when I edit the user account details, in the account information, I could able to see password expiration date coming as April 2023. Why it is so? January 20 is today. We created the user account. Exactly 3 months from this date. Exactly 3 months from this date, April 20. On 90th day, password expiration date trigger. Who told that in the system? Every 3 months, the password should expire for the employee. Even that rules. Password expiration rules. Okay. Etc. Many things we have to. All these things related to the user creation. All these things related to the user creation will be decided from this concept team. From this concept team, we have something called user category. Okay, we have something called user category. Whenever we configuring the user account, see now when I'm trying to create a user account, we have something called user category is there. We have something default. So whatever the user we creating under this category, whatever the rules that you are maintaining here, they will get provision to here team. So here we have a separate task called user category. Whatever the option default you are seeing team, you can go to this one. Let me cancel it. Go to user category. Okay. See team, when you come to user category, here we have the default option. This is what you are seeing when you're creating the user account. So at this user category level, we are going to maintain all these validations related to the user creation team. See if I click on this default category, edit it. Okay. So here I have C team. I have a couple of options to configure in category level. Like first is details section and then password policy, notifications, users. On detail section, if I edit team, here I have the combination to choose. See, username generation rule. Currently in this system, it was set up as first name dot last name. That's why when I'm creating a new user account under this category, when I pass first name and last name, automatically username taking up with this combination team. So in Fusion application, these are the available combinations for user creation. Either you can go with first name dot last name, or you can go with employee email, or you can go first letter of the first name and last name, or you can go with the person number or party number. Person number means the employee ID. Whenever we hiring the employee number will generate team. So that employee ID will become the user account. At the category level, we are going to provide that rule what is the username generation rule in the system for the employee. Whatever we choosing here, when we creating the user account in the system, see, now I'm going to users, add user account, and I'm creating under this category, that rules will be validated here, team. So the continuation to this particular topic, I will take up in the next session, team, because default category discussion, it will take again 1 full hour of discussion. All these validations I'm going to explain how to set up username rule, if at all duplication occurring, what system will do, then password complexity, how to set up, expiration rules, how to set up. We are going to see them in the category level, team, right? So by this, every one of you, I think, got understood how the security in the Fusion application is working, the concept of roles we are having in the system. So manual way of creating the user account we have seen in today's topic, team, but the security we have to take up one more session, next session on Monday, that is about the user category, team. Next, coming to the roles, once we complete our functional modules, team, again I'm going to take 3 to 4 sessions on security administration. At that point of time, I'm going to talk about the concept of roles in depth. What are the different types of roles we have? Whatever the Oracle delivered standard rules for each module, what we will call them. And when customer comes up with requirement of customizing the roles, the data restrictions, functionality restrictions they want to give to the employees, how to handle that, that all we will see in our role management discussion once we complete our functional modules. Why? Because, team, I want you people to know, first of all, what are the modules and what are the functionalities we have in that, so that you can understand, okay, by this role, these functionalities are accessible in the system. That knowledge is prerequisitely required in order to have the thorough understanding of roles, team. And coming to the user account management, automatic option, I'm telling, but there is a prerequisite setup we have, right? This one also I will talk in the session on Monday when we continuing this topic. After user category, I will show you how in the system the automatic option we are going to enable. Okay, so now let me go with the questions for today. Please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions what you have in the system today, team. Any questions in today's topic? Manjunath, Alok, Raghav.
No, sir, I asked enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it was clear.
Okay, thank you, Raghav. Yes, Manjunath, you can unmute and you can ask, please. You can click on that mic symbol so that it will unmute.
Yes, sir. Thanks for that. So I have actually a couple of questions. When it comes to user ID generations, ideally, basically what we thought is like everything we have to pay Oracle with total number of users. So the charges that we have to pay is based on user accounts that ideally will be handled by a company. Right. True. Now, by using this, super admin role, I can create multiple user accounts, and those all guys can able to access the Oracle applications to do some their own transactions. True. Then, in that case, if there is thousands of licenses, if required, then how can we handle that? This will be quite expensive, right? Then how can we create those many user accounts?
That's why usually in real time, what client will do is they will limit the user account access. Whatever the employees that they are having, they will take that licenses based upon that. Let's suppose we implementation team is there. We have 10 people. They won't create all the 10 accounts ideally. For all of us, they will create one account and they will ask us to use the same account to configure the things. And moreover, not only specific to user accounts that we are creating, number of users, specific to the roles that we are assigning to the user account, the licensing subscription will be calculated. Many of us don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Many people that really don't know. Usually it's not on the number of users, number of roles that we are assigning to the users.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. And another question is like, well, we create users manually, and you added the roles one by one. Will there be any option to bulk
Automate.
import the roles?
We have that.
Even though when we are okay.
See, when we creating, we have actually the concept of HDL. We can bulk create the user accounts also in the system rather than manually defining one by one. Okay. And the roles also we can assign in a bulk to the employees. But when it comes to automatic option, when the user accounts are creating automatically when the hiring happening, with the concept of auto provisioning of roles, whatever the role he is eligible for, he will get assigned with that role.
Okay, makes sense, got it. And the last one may not be, really. You have shown an option to delete an user. We have the option under actions button. Ideally, what will happen if we delete that record? Will completely remove all the transactions which was performed by that particular user, or it will be like temporary delete and we can retrieve it back?
No, it will be permanently deleted from the system. We cannot retrieve it back. Again, we have to create it as a fresh user.
Okay, makes sense. And the last question, sorry to take the time. We have this auto provision role. Sorry, the customization of username generation rules. Is it possible, sir? Like you have shown 4, right?
Only that 4 available options only we have to do. We cannot customize any other option in the system.
Oh, we can. Okay, makes sense. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the time.
Yeah. And team, as I told you, our next session will be on Monday because our sessions will be from Monday to Friday. On Monday, you can join with the same time at the same meeting link. Majority of the people confirmed your enrollment stream, and also we received enrollment payments also. So people who are yet to confirm their enrollments, please confirm so that we can share the access. For many of you, almost we have shared the accesses also yesterday. For a couple of people who are left out, we are going to share it today. So please confirm your enrollment so that we can share the access and we can add you in the WhatsApp group as well, team. So can I know who is the person joined with the name of AK Asas and then Ram? I don't have people of these details.
Yeah, hello Kumar, Agnivesh Kumar,
Yeah,
AK Agnivesh Kumar.
Okay, that you have. And Ram, who is this? Can I know?
Ram, it's me, Swapna, myself. Ram is my husband,
Oh,
so he has enrolled.
No problem. Yeah. And Asas, the person joined with the name of Asas.
Yeah, hi Kumar, Lokesh here.
Okay.
So I want to modify that name.
Yeah,
Yes.
fine. And Kavita or Kavita? Okay, Kavita. Okay, fine. Yeah, rest of all okay. Sijik, Chilma, Babu, Bhuvan. Right, team. Everyone else, we are having the details. Right, then let's conclude here, team. Practice over the weekend, whatever the things we covered so far, so that we'll join back again on Monday. Okay. Thank you and have a nice weekend to everyone, team.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we get, we're going to get a recording of this session also, right? If you want to.
You will be getting, yes. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.